So like the goal is that you go through this footage once and you don't have to watch it again.
For me to put on my Reels or YouTube. And
This
that's all people want to look at anyway. They don't want to look at a 30-minute video.
Love the program. I've actually converted several of my friends. We call it the cult of TimeBolt. For some reason, there's a video we have to edit without TimeBolt. We call it heathen editing because it sucks. Joking with it. I don't know how I made videos before now.
Welcome to TimeBolt Office Hours on July 17th, 2025. You are live with Doug and Quinson. We're here to answer your questions, check your workflows, and generally just make sure that you get the best out of TimeBolt. Welcome to TimeBolt Office Hours. Whoever wants to jump on first, I usually like to see if anybody has any specific questions before I just kind of go in and talking about product updates.
John Field in Australia. I'm wanting to do. I'm taking silent surf videos of people surfing, and I just want to be able to flag the sections of the video where they're actually standing up, not paddling around, falling off and all that. And I downloaded the software, but I couldn't work out how to get it to work in silent mode. Is there some settings that I could do that?
There actually are. Thank you for joining us. It's a great question. You're not so much looking for the silence detection options, right? You're looking for ways to cut this up, flag what's important.
So if I've got a 30-minute video and I'm probably only going to get 10 minutes of the guys actually up standing, it's on foil boards. So then I can just rip all the excess stuff out. If I go to CapCut, I've got to delete each section. I'm not sure if I can do it on TimeBolt of just isolating the sections where you keep and then lift them all off together as single pieces or as a combined unit, and then just take that to CapCut to play around with it.
Well, that's exactly what you can do with TimeBolt. It's quite remarkable, actually, that you found TimeBolt and you're not even looking for the silence detection options. Because the fact of the matter is that TimeBolt edits GoPro video super fast. This is how I do it. I take my dog, for example, I know this isn't a surfing video, but I take my dog strap GoPro onto his back. That's more about the action, not about sound. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down here and you're going to set your first, I put this at 100 seconds, that it basically doesn't detect any silence. All right. So you're going to hit update silence detection settings. So no silence is actually detected. As I'm going through, you're going to have to learn the keys USOB. Okay.
Yep.
And I'll explain this to you. And at the same time, Quincy, I actually did a blog. So this is actually a vlog that I did that will take you through the exact steps, okay, that you need to go through and what I'm going to be talking about here. Okay, removing the silences longer than, putting at 100 just so there's no silences, and what you can do with keeping. And there's actually I created a video too, okay, of exactly what I'm doing to edit GoPro footage. So that's right off the homepage of our website. Put this at 1.5x, the preview. USOB, as I'm going through, and let's say I want to keep this section, I hit S to create a split in the playhead. Create a split right here. And if I go through, I'm like, oh, maybe I want to keep this little part in my video. I hit S again. At this point, I can hit back and cut everything that's up to that point, okay? I can either just keep it as a green part, or if I want to do something extra special with it as well, I can hit M and add a marker. Imagine your content is like a reverse content funnel where you're basically going from a really long video to 10 minutes of really interesting, a 30-minute video down to 10 minutes of interesting parts, down to maybe a minute of your best highlights, okay?
That's exactly what I'm on about.
So the green parts are what we're keeping. The yellow parts are something that we'd highlight. As I go through, I probably don't want any of this stuff, right? All of a sudden, the dog's coming. Okay, split it again. I can hit the B key, and look, it just back cut everything up to where I was before.
BC or BT?
USOB.
USOB. Oh, I got it. Okay. B key. The key B.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. We're not using a mouse. We're not going to use anything like that. That's the beauty of this timeline. So once you preview at 1.5x or even 2, okay, depending on how much footage you got, okay, automatically default preview to 2x speed when I hit the space bar, okay? Right. I'm not pressing these little buttons. I'm not doing this. I'm doing nothing here. USOB, right? So as we go through, I saw a dog coming by. Oh, that's cool. Maybe I know this is the part I want to keep. So I hit S and I hit B to back cut what I was previously up to. And now I want to keep this dog action. I hit S again, and now I know that I'm going to keep that spot, right? So I go through them, I can hit B, and I just back cut that. Okay? So you go through USOB, and you get up your timeline. And let me find just a spot where we can like add a marker or something. All right, so I'm going to hit S again. I can either, like for this part, I can add a marker. Imagine I'm going through, I'm either removing stuff completely, keeping it for the long format on YouTube. I'm also figuring out what are the most important sections of my video. You don't have to let AI do that type of work, right? You're controlling the timing of your video, which improves its authenticity and its realism. And this isn't like a Joe Rogan podcast. You're going through figuring out what parts you want to keep. After you get done doing this, I can then go in and say, keep only marked cuts.
Right, okay.
Shift down. And now you can see that these are just my highlighted parts, right? To get out of this, I hit Command Z to undo and then get back to my main timeline. It's really kind of the inside ball information that you're going to need, right? And so again, you just Ginsu this stuff up. Here, I got just caught a frisbee, right? I usually cut that out. So that might look like an actually good part, dog fights or something, right? And then sometimes when he goes up and jumps and gets things, okay, check this out. I can then even, this is probably important for you, John, because no one else would use this except for you. The only time you can actually add time to a video, TimeBolt's all about cutting it away, is through fast forward, okay? I can fast forward when the goal is to show, not tell, okay? I can either do it automated or do it by hand, which I'll do it by hand. I can slow this down by 0.5x. So let's imagine dude goes up, catches a wave, does some kind of cool, like you put this at 0.5x, which actually slows down, not fast forward. And the only time you're going to click any bars above the playhead and stuff, okay, is when you turn on fast forward. And when you turn on fast forward, it turns to orange, okay?
Oh, wow.
But this will actually like slow it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can also fast forward. And if you want to include the slowed down footage in your highlight reel with your markers, you press M, right? Add a marker.
Right.
Now you can go through. So this is like when you learn to like save your timeline and stuff, this is like what a finished timeline looks like. I'll do keep only marked cuts. Let's see what I actually can see it in action. I hit Shift plus down to get to the front. And this is kind of like right? So that's like keep only marked cuts. So then at the end, I've got something that looks like this is the actual reel. This is the final. In the final, what I do is that video is probably like 30 minutes long, right? So in the final, it looks like this. So you can see. Sometimes I can add, look, you see that slow motion right there? See that? That's slow motion. Quinston built all of this for me, and I thank him very much because of how much I do my love with dog videos. But he also built the fastest GoPro video editor on the planet. Okay, like I know I'm talking fast, and I know this is going to require about 30 minutes of like intense, like, hey, I'm going to learn TimeBolt today. But once you do, you've got the fastest video editor, not to just cut up talking head video, but also YouTube or GoPro video as well for surfers.
Right.
Scrub a bunch of footage this way.
Wow. Okay. I just looked at it and thought that it's in here somewhere. I've just got to work out how to do it.
This right here, like read this blog, watch that video. Yep. We've done like this is exactly how you cut it up. There's
I put the link to it in the chat.
Thank you. There's also like these types of workflows, Sculpt, USOB. But I'll tell you, the actual video in that GoPro workflow is going to work well. You're going to learn about how to create YouTube chapters. There's a lot of things that you can do. So like as I'm going through, I can type in YouTube chapters, right? It shows like all the different things. So like the goal is that you go through this footage once and you don't have to watch it again.
And that's what I want to do. I end up coming back from the beach and I've got hours to sort of look at stuff, and then I've got to keep going back to it. And I just want to, and as you say, 30 minutes of video or an hour of video, I only need 5 or 10 minutes of it for me to put on my reels or YouTube. And that's all people want to look at anyway. They don't want to look at a 30-minute video. Most of them don't anyway. They just want to see what especially with foiling, that there's a whole lot of very subtle moves to make a foil work like a surfboard, because it's the foil's in the water, whereas the surfboard's sitting on top of the water. So, and to be able to recognize what those subtle moves are is the secret to foiling.
Take a look at the video. It should help you out. It should help how to edit GoPro footage. And there's no way to explain it faster than this video right here. It'll take you through all this.
All right. No, I understand. I've just got to you got to do the work.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what sort of dog is that?
He's a Labradoodle with 6% Australian cattle dog.
That's what we have, a Labradoodle, but he doesn't have the cattle dog in here.
Like I did the Embark DNA test, and Labradoodles are pretty like big and goofy. This dog, that 6% Australian cattle dog, just turned him into like soul genetic makeup. Is pretty incredible.
They're pretty amazing dogs, cattle dogs. You don't want to get on the wrong side of them.
Exactly. Dog think he's like, imagine putting a Labradoodle body, a big old goofy body, you know what I'm saying, and with a cattle dog. People love him, but he's highly competitive with other dogs. So that's what makes drama makes for good content, right? Drama makes for the best.
Yeah, it certainly does.
I wish you luck catching a shark going after a surfer and missing him barely. So we don't want to see that.
Okay, well, I'll give you the credit.
Shot. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, John. Thanks for choosing.
Thanks for joining us.
It's after midnight here. I got to get to bed.
All right. Hey, sounds good, John. Thank you.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you.
Mark.
Bye.
I believe Jenny was next.
She had a
Oh,
question.
I do. Is my mic working? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I've actually sent an email, but I'm not sure if it was received. First of all, I just have to say I love the program. I've actually converted several of my friends. We call it the cult of TimeBolt. And if we ever have to edit, like if for some reason there's a video we have to edit without TimeBolt, we call it heathen editing because it sucks. Anyway, as I think I mentioned in my emails, I try and do as much of my editing within TimeBolt as possible, just because it's so much nicer than, it's just a lot easier than doing it in Premiere. And I've just recently started using the punch feature, and I'm wondering if it's possible. I know this is not available in the program now, but to add more customizable, I don't know what to call it, customizable punches, just because sometimes they don't align with the video that I have, and I just can't use it. Like, for example, it only will allow you to zoom in up to 200%. And there are times I want to zoom in a little bit more than that. Or the grid will cut somebody off halfway through their face if I have a couple of people on screen. Well, then I can't use that. I know that most people wouldn't be using that. I would imagine it would have to be like an advanced, like expanded menu or something. But I'm just offering that as a suggestion because I personally would like it a lot.
How many people are typically in like one video? You said there is a grid in which,
Yeah.
is it like a Zoom recording or?
No, I'm talking about the grid for like the punch. So you have like top, middle, top, bottom, top, left, top, or that's the grid I'm talking about, right? Typically, the videos that I'm thinking of most, have a screen with three, well, it's four of us, but there'll be three groups on, like two are in one screen. So it'd be like a Zoom with three windows, but sometimes aligned a little bit differently just because we're
Have
doing
you
reactions
tried?
and stuff.
Got it. Have you tried this custom punch values in the settings? Have you
I've gone into them quite a bit. Can do it, but I would like to be able to, for example, like I said,
manually?
the maximum is 200%. Oh, I wish I could do a little bit more than that, just because
Okay.
with three people on screen, it'd be nice to be able to zoom in on one face.
Are you looking for something that is more fluid in the sense that it's controlled by a user interface instead of numbers? Like, for example, would every punch value be different, or you want something that's predefined? Because it seems like you have like a single video might contain multiple people, or they might be,
Yeah.
let's say, three people. Then you might want to like have one cut which is focused on that person, and then that person is repeating throughout the video. So you want to like kind of save that as a preset and then apply that same punch over and over again to that particular person, and then have like a different preset for somebody else. So is that the kind of approach that we're looking for?
I hadn't even thought about that actually as an option. I had just thought about that. That would be great. But I personally had honestly just thought of giving me a little bit more control, because the numbers have a maximum and a minute, like a maximum.
Correct.
And I just wanted to, like, can I get over that?
The numbers are arbitrary. They don't really have to be 200%. They could be 500. We never really thought anybody would zoom in more than 200. And
I know,
there has to
I
be
know.
some of, I can increase it to 500 and you can try it out.
Okay. And then the other thing would be, as I said, like, I understand why there's a grid, like it makes sense, but being able to say, like I said, top left, top bottom, top middle, top, being able to position that, I don't know how that would work.
The reason for that to exist is that we didn't want to have people spend too much time on that. It's built in a way that it constrains because it's built for speed. Like, we want people to do it fast. Like, because if you go in any other software, if you go in Premiere Pro, for example, you have something called, like, they do allow you to position it how you want it, but it takes more time. And then you have to understand the whole reason is TimeBolt is built on the philosophy of speed. And I don't know if I can change that particular, because that would require it would require like re-engineering the whole thing. I can't change the percentages. I can change, for example, I can do something if you want to have like a negative, like a less than 100%, you want to like zoom, punch out, for example, instead of punching in, like you want to create like a black square. We could do that as possible. The grid, I don't know if I can't promise anything about the grid. I can't promise anything regarding the grid.
The ability to determine your punch values is what allows that grid to change effect. Like the more you can punch in, the more what it means different. Middle center means a whole lot different thing than
that's true. You're probably right.
0% versus 500, right? So the grid just kind of keeps it to where once you find your sweet spot, right? Like maybe it's 250% on the left center and it's 150 on the right. The nice thing about having those three presets is that when you're hitting P, it remembers the exact punch value, and then it'll remember left or right what you punched in previously, so you're not having to actually go left, down, so it's P type thing. Which I will definitely look at increasing the percentage. Is that right, Quint?
Yeah.
The percentage of the punch. I could personally use that. What I often do is if I have custom punches, I'll just go and hit in the setting, give me 200%. I'll go zoom in and go right back in the setting, say, give me back my regular percentages. So it truly is kind of customizable, but I certainly understand why we want it 3 or 4 hours.
I appreciate that. Thanks. It's just, like I said, I try to do as much of my editing in TimeBolt so that I don't have to deal with other programs because TimeBolt's so much easier. So that's why I'm asking. So thank you.
And Ginny, did you try anything else before TimeBolt? How did you find out about it?
There's another program. I never tried it actually. I saw it advertised. I don't know how I found TimeBolt. I've been using it for like 2 years now. At least I've had paid for 2 years. Probably not a full 2 years, but and I know like 4 of my friends are using it now because I'm a bit of an evangelist for it.
Some people have crazy journeys of where they've like gone through and listened to some of these YouTube videos. Hey, push a button, AI will do all this stuff for you. And then they're after 8 weeks and they're just massively disappointed because they're going back and all the extra time fixing all the bad cuts, sloppy start to cuts, didn't catch a phrase here or there type thing. And it's a bunch of reading. Right. I didn't know if you had gone through a similar journey or you just some people like have you been editing video for quite some time?
I've had a YouTube channel for like 2 or 4 years now. I've had a bit of a journey. Like I started not knowing how to edit at all and had to learn from nothing. And then about, I guess 2 years ago or whatever, I discovered TimeBolt. And again, joking with it, I don't know how I made videos before now because it was just, it's so much easier when you're using this program. Like you have been helpful before. I don't know if you remember a while back, you have a video now about making reaction videos. That was because I was like, I need to know how to do reactions. I came into this and you guys made a whole video explaining how to do that. And that was really helpful. So thanks.
And that's what you make. That's the kind of video you make is reaction videos.
I do all sorts of things. I'm a big nerd. So I do reaction videos. I did a interview recently with a costume designer from a show I really like. So I'll be editing that, hopefully in TimeBolt. And I'm just a big nerd. So I do a bunch of nerdy stuff.
I still have yet, what's great about most of these workflows, I've been able to actually do most of these workflows, whether it's with a dog, I've just never done reaction videos. And I've always been interested to understand how that works in TimeBolt and how that works for you. I know a bunch of like vloggers and stuff do. They use TimeBolt.
I do a fair amount of reactions, but it's not all that I do. Right?
Just a heads up that like, because obviously you make a lot of video, you're around video, there's probably TimeBolt's open on your computer. Just be aware that if you ever have to give me like creative feedback or getting ready to write a 5-paragraph email about something, you can record with TimeBolt and send quick video banger messages and an unlisted link that's Loom, but it doesn't suck to watch. And you can do all that in one streamlined workflow, whether it's work or personal.
I do use TimeBolt for screen recording. I do use it if I have to do a quick screen recording.
Nice.
Okay. I realized it was there and I was like, oh, I don't have to get another program. Yeah. So I use it for that all the time if I have to show somebody something.
That's awesome. Have you ever heard of our banger technology? If you record with TimeBolt, this one right here, I always do like activate turbo mode, but this button right here, you can export and upload to an unlisted link. It's a banger technology. And it actually, it quickly uploads faster than you record it, uploads to an unlisted link, gives you GIF preview, and that way, if you don't want to email a file or something like that, you can send a video. Our focus has been on getting this capture technology done. And we've got a lot of awesome features that are coming out where you can do, I don't know if you ever like try and record a presentation on your MacBook Pro or anything like that, but on mine, it's a 16:10 aspect ratio. It'll create black bars. We've got this to where it'll just center frame capture. So there's no black bars. You can now capture in square or vertical, depending on what platform you want to post to. And you can do that just straight out of TimeBolt. We're also working on a camera only source, video and audio sync. We're working to make a world-class capture tool for desktop, Mac and Windows. And there's a lot of stuff we have going on behind the scenes right now as we continue to improve capture. Hope that works out for you and you continue to use this.
Sweet. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you for choosing time. Matt, how you doing?
Good. I do a lot of podcast recording with 3 to 4 cameras. And I was wondering if you throw in each video, does it have to cut the video if you do the JSON in Premiere Pro? Can it do like a auto cut feature?
We do have an extension. So is the other videos, do they have like a master audio file? Is it like one audio file?
I record on separate audio files for each microphone.
Okay.
So I was wondering.
But is it like.
So basically, like there's 2 programs. One's called AutoCut that cuts between the camera. You could choose the video feed that the person's on and the audio feed that the person, or like the road that the audio's on.
Are you talking about, no, TimeBolt doesn't do camera switching.
But I was wondering if you inserted each video separately because of the audio, would it?
Yes, you can make it work, but you will have to do, like, for example, you will have to do the switching manually, but the cuts will be created for you. The cuts will be created, but you'll have to switch manually. That's the only limitation. If you want, I have a video that I can send to you, which actually demonstrates how to do that.
Okay.
Let me just find it. Give me a second.
Quinton's finding that. So you mentioned AutoCut. So how did you land on TimeBolt and
I landed on TimeBolt about 3.5 years ago, right when you guys first started, or it was probably 4 years ago, I'd say. I was browsing through lifetime deals for like AI video recording. features. And then I was doing a lot of video editing because I have a lot of clients. I have a media company in Sacramento. I started using it for a lot of videos for clients and stuff. And then I started a podcast studio. So I have 2 podcast studios now where people rent the space and then we provide the final video for them. I really like those I started using it for the auto, like trimming everything down and getting rid of the ums and ahs and all that stuff. But I was just wondering if you were thinking about doing something like AutoCut or AutoPod or any of that.
Regarding the question about AutoCut, the reason AutoCut is able to achieve those results is because they have built their entire product inside of Premiere Pro, right? So it's not a separate product which runs on your desktop independent of Premiere Pro, which is why they are able to do the camera switching automatically within the video itself. That is, of course, not possible with TimeBolt because TimeBolt runs completely separately. And we do have an extension, but that extension can only do cuts directly with the JSON file. Yep. And the reason for that is because the JSON file doesn't have any information of which audio track is connected to which video. And because a lot of times what happens is people have separate audio files and separate video files. So, and there is no way to create like a link in that manner, right?
With multiple camera angles, multiple audio files, etc.
So that's the video. You can check it out. It should work for any number of audio files once you understand how it works. It does require a little bit of understanding. It does use multicam, which is inside Premiere Pro, where you like select a bunch of audio tracks and then switch between them. So it will create the cuts for you, but the camera switching will have to be done manually. It is mentioned in the video how that works, but the cuts will be done automatically.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks for choosing TimeBolt. And this is the video on how to do that, how to edit a podcast with TimeBolt and Premiere Pro. You'd put inside chat. So for reference, this is the video on how to manage these multiple audio files and do it inside Premiere Pro.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, thanks for choosing TimeBolt.
Of course. I tell a lot of people about it too.
Thank you very much. Let us know if we can be of any further help. And certainly camera switching and stuff like that is an interesting topic to us. And that might be something in 2026 we take a look at. We're big right now on capture and really how do we help customers kind of get content into TimeBolt very quickly.
Right.
World class. Certainly the automated camera switching and stuff would be a great use to anybody that's doing podcasts in different locations like Riverside, stuff like that, for sure. Awesome. Well, Matt, nice seeing you again. And
hey guys, how are you? Hey, I have a different use case. I'm a host on a news talk AM and FM radio broadcast that broadcasts live. And when we're recording our promos, the studio, even though we have 7 radio stations, the studio is kind of backwards. And I was wondering if there was an easy way I can record the promos. We can record the promos here in TimeBolt, but it's just audio. It's not video, right? So how do we keep it keep that size reduced? So we're recording a live promo. I want to edit it in TimeBolt, and I just want to save it. It's just audio, right? There's like 2 of us. We tag team on these audio files.
We can't do audio only recordings right now. Do you have a Mac or a Windows? So you can use QuickTime to record the audio. When you open QuickTime, you can go to File, New Audio Recording. And then once you have the audio recorded, you can put that audio in TimeBolt and just edit it quickly.
What I was concerned about when we saved the file was kind of, the file size was large, and I wanted to keep that file size tight.
So QuickTime will give you a large file size because it records probably in WAV. But once you put it in TimeBolt, it will also give you a WAV.
He could record in small, quick format if he has a Mac inside TimeBolt, and then just render audio only WAV file from.
But again, it's a WAV. That's his issue. He wants it to be really small. WAV is lossless. It's going to be massive.
It's a massive, and then mind you, we're only doing 60-second promos.
Do you have like a hard limit of how big the size is?
It's the transfer speed and go. We don't have necessarily a hard limit. I'm not sure on their back end what it looks like when they load it into the computer, because this promo plays like 10 times a day after we record it.
Doug, can you test quickly, what does QuickTime record in? Does it record MP3 or WAV? So you can use QuickTime to record the audio file, and then you can use TimeBolt to edit. It will mimic the format that you recorded the original file in. So if QuickTime can give you an MP3 file, then TimeBolt will work with an MP3 file.
Okay.
And reduce the size.
Right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
Diego.
Yes, thank you. So here, let me share real quick. Thank you. So
is there any TimeBolt thing in applications?
Wait, where is it? There used to be a list of applications where you could click on it and this one.
Okay. We just added it manually. So can you double click on the TimeBolt thing? So did it not do anything?
Didn't do anything. And like it got to the point where yesterday I was freaking out because I also use Dropbox, but it just didn't make sense because I don't store that much. But even with Dropbox, I had to call them and they escalated it and they just haven't gotten back to me. So I'm at a standstill now with all my work. And I went as far as did a full factory reset twice yesterday. But see, I opened it, nothing happens. I don't see anything. This is a brand new computer. And I think if you guys remember that, I think the past 2 meetings that I was on with you guys, I was making a lot of progress and stuff. So I don't know if it was an update they did.
The thing that we need to check is whether TimeBolt has permissions to do everything that's it's supposed to do. So click on File and Folders. There must be files and folders. Now, TimeBolt is not even in the list. The TimeBolt should be in this list if it's allowed to access stuff. For some reason, when you installed it, wasn't added to this list. So what's happening is TimeBolt is not able to access your file system, essentially. So it can't run because it doesn't have access to your file system of the applications. Yeah.
So the proper way to do this is just simply delete it? Or is there another way?
No, just delete it. Do command delete.
There's not like...
Yes, there is.
It's open. You can close it.
You do have to delete the folder. I'll walk you through that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just delete
that's
this.
what I figured. Okay.
Then go into My Documents. Oh yes, you can go into Users and then go into Documents. Oh wait, you don't have a Documents folder.
I don't know, man. This has been driving me crazy, and this is where even Dropbox.
I know what's going on with your computer. You don't have a Documents folder. So Documents-Assets. Did you change the name of your Documents folder to Document-Assets?
No, I haven't done anything. And
okay,
I just,
okay.
This is like the weirdest thing.
Can you change it back to Documents? Can you change it back to Documents? The Documents folder is...
I think the answer has to be no, because yesterday I did a full factory reset twice.
No, but you have Dropbox installed.
And
you have iCloud installed.
I did install Dropbox. So I don't know if Dropbox maybe corrupted the way the files are set up on the Mac.
Something happened to your file system is what I'm saying. Like something is messing up with your file system.
And that's what I can't put a pulse on. So like, do you agree that potentially it could be Dropbox when I installed it that's messing up the file system?
I'm not going to malign any company, but I don't know what's going on. It could be. So, Dropbox is a company, is a product that changes the way the file system is set up. So it could be I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm now asking you because I know you're an expert. You're much smarter than I am, so I have to ask my people here to figure out what's
I'm just saying that this is not how the file system should look. Is what I'm saying. It should not look. Correct. You should not have a Documents-Assets folder. That folder should not exist.
I guess my best bet is just to wait.
And you can't even delete it, right? It's not. You can't even delete that because it says if you try to delete it, it gives you an error, right?
Correct. So if I try to delete, I guess I did delete I did delete Documents. But
can you open that? Can you double click on it? The alias documents can't be opened because it's in trash. Wait,
this is the one that I deleted when you asked me to delete.
Okay, cool. Can you bring it out of trash? I don't think that's how you do it. I think you should right click and then bring it and bring it back or something. Put back.
It's nice.
Oh my God! It doesn't let you put it. What is happening?
I'm being silenced here, man.
This is a comedy, fucking. Sorry. This is a comedy.
This is all part of the movie I'm making. So you guys are witnesses. I got TimeBolt now backing you for this film.
I hate to say this, but you're probably gonna. So this time, you're probably gonna have to reset it, factory reset. But this time, do not install Dropbox or anything else.
Okay. I'm just gonna install.
And if you do install Dropbox, just be very careful of where you're setting it up. I think
what would be the proper way? Because sometimes when you Dropbox, they'll try to set it up in their own unique way.
No. So what I'm saying is that when you reset it, install TimeBolt first. Check if TimeBolt works.
Okay.
And then as you install other software, you can retest, okay, where is it going wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Okay.
As you install it, make sure everything is working. And you can install Adobe products first, and then I think Dropbox should be the last thing you install because that's probably dealing with your files, right? So even if you get the files at the end, that's pretty much that's cool.
And I'm working entirely off of my externals too, which makes it easier. So
I think you should just not install anything that messes with your file system for now. Just make sure your workflow is going, and then when you really need to use Dropbox, that's when you install it.
Okay.
At the end, essentially.
I'll make sure I do that.
Even in this folder, you can see it says iCloud Drive Archive. What does that even mean?
Yeah. So the iCloud.
This is sometimes when Dropbox. I don't know. They do.
Oh my God! Your Documents folder is in the archive.
Well, this is sometimes when Dropbox doesn't update. They said I can technically delete this, but I'm afraid of deleting this because I don't know if I'm going to lose.
Yeah, it's definitely Dropbox. Okay, now I'm pretty sure it's because your Documents folder is in the iCloud folder. Look at that Documents right there.
Yeah, and then if I click here, but this is old. This is nothing I can't tell you how cool this is. Chris Gethin, geez, this was what year was this? I was working out. This is crazy old. This is not real.
So it's probably a sync issue. Something's happening. All these sync iCloud, Dropbox, everything's clashing.
Okay.
Can you go to the Apple menu and click on System Preferences option? Go to the Apple menu, System Preferences.
System
Preferences. And then see, General System. So you're going to go to the iCloud menu, Apple menu, go to System Preferences option and click on the iCloud option. System Preferences, where are those at?
The iCloud is over there at the bottom. No, you're in the correct section. You just have iCloud.
Oh my God, is it right in front of me and I can't see it?
In the left one, at the bottom. Scroll down. On the left Scroll down. Yes, iCloud. Oh, your mouse was right on it. It's the fifth one from the bottom.
Fifth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, okay, sorry.
Click on the iCloud. Click on options. Go to documents.
Manage. I think there's manage. There's no options.
There was no
It's manage. iCloud Drive.
And then unclick the desktop and documents folders option.
Oh, that could be actually it. It's not in this one. There's probably some other option there. Drive. Maybe it's in the drive option.
I'm sorry. Where do you see that? Oh, okay.
This one. Oh, it's already checked off. I think it's Dropbox that's messing it up. It's not iCloud. Maybe you can go into Dropbox. Do you have it open?
It's
like you need to stop Dropbox from messing with your documents folder, essentially.
Okay. Where exactly do I turn off?
It's not in this. It's going to be in the Dropbox app. Not in settings. It's going to be in the Dropbox app. Dropbox app. Settings in Dropbox. Some setting in Dropbox. View sync issues. Something like this. Backup, sync, modify. This probably here, modify.
So this is where yesterday I did this with them too. And this is where they start to escalate it because they realized that there was something funky going on here. So I had to send them a screen recording, but I didn't have any other knowledge. Like this is why I wanted to connect today is because if I have to get rid of Dropbox even temporarily, I will, and I'll do the factory reset. But it's been a few days now, and
you don't need to have Dropbox app installed. You can even just download it directly from the web browser. You don't have to have the app installed. You can just go to open it in Chrome and just download the files from there. You don't have to have the app installed.
True. I'm so used to being able to access it on my computer, but you're definitely right. If I'm going to use this for editing, it's probably just best that I leave it off entirely.
You could download it. It's not an issue. The problem is that the way you set it up is causing some problems. It's not the app itself. It's probably like when you set it up, there were some buttons that were clicked, which probably should not have been. Or maybe it's just an issue with how they set it up. Maybe they have to mess with the documents folder in order to make it work. I don't really know.
Yeah, All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you spending some extra time. Time for a factory reset because I can't wait on Dropbox to get back to me because it's definitely been holding me up on this project.
Are you paying for Dropbox?
I've been paying for Dropbox for like over 10 years. So
do you also pay for iCloud?
I do because of my phone. I shouldn't, but I just can't stand it because I save a lot to my phone and the last thing I need is for it to be maxing out. I just do.
How much storage do you have in Dropbox?
In Dropbox, I think I have 3 terabytes.
Okay, so you're already using it to the max. You're already using it a lot.
I'm getting close. And I've continued, I just keep increasing it over the years. But this is more of most of all the important footage in terms of like general stuff is in my Dropbox. But if anything like big files, like this project, like video, it's all on externals just because it's being on the cloud.
The main issue why TimeBolt's not working is because it can't find the documents folder. You don't have a documents folder on your computer. That's why it's not working.
I guess to play it safe, I'll just do another factory reset and then so I should install TimeBolt first and then I can install the Adobe, right?
You can install Adobe. There's nothing wrong with Adobe or any other software. It's just something that is messing up your file system, which I believe it could be Dropbox or something similar to that, which is like...
I'm pretty sure it is Dropbox because I've been using them for so long that every now and then they tell everyone like, hey, we're doing an update and this might affect something, but never has it taken me this long to get it going again. And to the point where they couldn't figure it out yesterday.
Also, when you install it again, just pay attention to what they're saying on the screen. Like just read like the text, see what you're checking.
All right, fellas. Well, I appreciate you guys. And thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. Diego, thank you.
Thanks, Christian. I appreciate all your help.
Take care.
You bet. Well, that's it for this episode of Office Hours. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course the notification bell when we go live. And we're out of time. Thanks again, gentlemen.